A new controversy is brewing about medical marijuana in New Mexico. Some judges, it turns out, are letting convicted criminals, even some with drug histories, get medical marijuana licenses. On tonight's special assignment, Kim Holland exposes an issue that apparently nobody thought about.
Daniel Borrego doesn't play by the rules. His criminal history includes convictions for armed robbery, aggravated burglary, and conspiracy. He even participated in an Albuquerque home invasion, searching for money and drugs where this young man was shot dead. Then there's David Jimenez. He's been in trouble for domestic violence and recently got popped for his 4th DWI. So what do these two men have in common? Well, it turns out doctors and the state of New Mexico legally allowed them to smoke marijuana. And that raises the question, should convicted criminals be allowed to have medical marijuana cards? Judges are having to make these decisions. Santa Fe District Judge Michael V. Hill is supervising Borrego's probation. At a hearing last month, Borrego asked V. Hill to allow him to keep smoking medical marijuana under the program. This is audio from that hearing.
I don't necessarily want to talk about it openly, so that all these people go out and get the marijuana cards and we have everyone doing marijuana.
But despite any concerns he might have had, Judge V. Hill allowed Borrego to continue to smoke weed. Borrego's medical history is protected by law, so we don't know what illness qualified him for medicinal marijuana.
If the doctor prescribes a medication and feels that it's medically necessary, I don't feel that I can interfere with that doctor-patient relationship.
But the father of 21-year-old Carrie Lewis, killed in the Albuquerque home invasion, is outraged about what the state is allowing Borrego to do.
Utter astonishment. I cannot believe someone who was in a home invasion looking for drugs is allowed to smoke marijuana.
Judge Stephen Pfeffer, whose courtroom is right next door to V. Hill's, has a different take on the situation. He says that since 2007, he's denied 3 defendants on probation asking to smoke medical marijuana under the program.
I have to be concerned about the safety of the community.
The most recent denial, David Jimenez's felony DWI case.
Mr. Jimenez has recently been diagnosed with cancer.
But not even cancer was enough to convince Pfeffer.
One facing those charges, or sentenced for that matter, has already proven that he or she is incapable of having alcohol or other intoxicants and avoiding getting in an automobile.
Still, both judges say they don't have a hard and fast rule about medical marijuana and will consider each case individually. The dilemma isn't just for smoking, but also growing medical marijuana. On October 31st, Bernalillo County deputies raided a home in southwest Albuquerque and found 22 pounds of pot, 13 plants, and $10,000 in cash. Investigators say Joe Baca, who is on probation, has PTSD and a state-issued license that allows him to grow and smoke medical pot. Baca is charged with possession with intent to distribute. Court records indicate a judge allowed Baca to use medical marijuana while on probation. Cabinet Secretary Catherine Torres heads the health department. How do convicted criminals get a medicinal marijuana card? How is that allowed to happen?
Well, part of it is it's not something that we ask.
You don't care about their background?
Well, it's not about caring for their background. It's called HIPAA. And they're treated as patients.
HIPAA is a federal law that requires a patient's health information to be kept confidential. Secretary Torres says most law enforcement officers notify her office of a card carrier who violates drug laws, though it's not required. She says her legal team will soon sit down with judges in the state to review the program. Carrie Lewis's dad says that's long overdue. He supports the medical marijuana program in some cases, but says the wrong people are legally getting high.
It's a mockery. It's a total mockery of what the marijuana law was passed for.
Kim Holland, KRQE News 13.
Well, what about the people who are locked up? How do jails and prisons handle inmates who have been approved for medical marijuana? The State Corrections Department does not allow it. Neither does the Santa Fe County Detention Center. But Albuquerque's Metro Detention Center tries to find a way to put inmates with medical marijuana prescriptions on ankle monitors at home.